Hi, it's Naomi back with another vlog for you. This time I'm going to be talking about Kim Jiyoung, born 1982 by Cho Nam Joo. This book was written in Korean in 2016. It's just been translated and arrived on the British market. It caused a lot of controversy when it came out in Korea originally. It arrived at the height of the Me Too movement, which is actually called the With You movement in Korea, which I thought was quite interesting. A lot of female Korean celebrities were trolled for admitting that they've read this book, and there was also a film that came out of it in 2019, so the controversy kind of resurfaced. There was a good article on the BBC about it if you want to find out more about it. I'm sure if you Google, it'll just be there. I thought it was a fantastic book, really good, brilliantly simple, stark kind of reportage style. I read it while I was on my holiday, and I came back into my shop raving about it. I'm sure my colleagues are bored of me talking about it already. The book itself just tells the story of Kim Jiyoung. She is very much an average woman in Korea. And I think that's what makes it the most shocking, is that this is what the average woman born in kind of this sort of time period, 1980s, goes through. The book's split into different chapters, different sections of her life. So her schooling, her marriage, her having a baby, joining the workforce. It also tells a little of her mother's story as well, which is interesting to see what the previous generation sort of went through. And I think it shines light on some aspects of Korean society that we might not necessarily, or certainly I wouldn't necessarily know much about. I have no link to Korean culture, and I'm certainly very geographically very far removed. And what's also interesting about this book is it's referenced. It's unusual for a fiction title. So when she highlights a certain injustice that Kim Jiyoung experiences, she references that with a newspaper article or an academic paper. It feels like Kim Jiyoung's life is funneled down this very predestined path, and as much as she tries to get out of that lane on occasion, she can't really manage it. Despite trying, for example, when she gives up her full-time job to have a baby, she really struggles to find meaningful part-time work. It really seems like society is organised very much against her. And in places the book was so emotionally affecting. There is often Kim Jiyoung, she suffers in silence. And what makes that extra sad is, there's thousands of women feeling the same way as her. She's called a name right towards the end of the book, and honestly that scene, it really upset me. I thought it was really, really well done. The final line of the novel even is absolutely heartbreaking, and it really underlines the author's point about the injustices women like Kim Jiyoung have been through. And I think a lot of what's highlighted in the book, a lot of the injustices, they do resonate with British society, with global society, and the way that women are treated or expected to behave. So some of the examples are incredibly Korean and don't translate as well to other societies perhaps, but some of them do. And certainly some of the examples I recognised in British society today, and some of the examples I thought perhaps, yeah, that's something more like my mother or my grandmother would have had to deal with. So it's interesting to shine a light on that, and it helps us sort of think about that and not bury the fact that this has been, an ongoing generational issue. I honestly think everyone should read it, not just for sort of the cultural education and the interest in Korea, but also just because it highlights attitudes to women, and I think that's something that really very much does need to stay in the spotlight. I personally really enjoyed this book. I think it's one of my candidates for Book of the Year already, and it's only February, so it's a good endorsement from me. I think it would go down really well with book clubs. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of issues raised. If you like books like The Vegetarian or Invisible Women or Convenience Store Woman, then I think it'd be a great one for you as well. If you've read it or heard anything about it, let me know what you think, and I will be back next time. Thank you very much for listening to me. If you want to hear more from me, more from the other vloggers, or more from Waterstones in general, then please do subscribe to our channel. Bye bye.